He lived like a homeless man for 30 days. What he learned changed everything. It all began with a question, one most of us avoid asking. What would happen if I lost everything? Not just money, not just a job, but everything. Friends, family, comfort, safety. That's the question that haunted Arman for years. He was a successful life coach, known for giving motivational talks to packed audiences. On stage, he spoke about hardship, struggle, resilience, but deep down, he wondered, had he really suffered? Had he really understood pain? Or was he just borrowing words from other people's stories? So one day, he decided to test the very foundation of his beliefs. No cameras, no crew, no money, no phone, just himself and the streets. He left behind his apartment, his bank account, even his name. For the next 30 days, Arman would live as a homeless man, and what he discovered shattered him. The first night was the hardest, not because of hunger, not because of cold, but because of invisibility. He sat on the corner of a busy street, hoping for a glance, a smile, even a bit of change. People passed by. Hundreds, thousands. Not one looked at him. He wasn't man anymore. He was a shadow. For someone used to applause and attention, this was the first cut, sharp and silent. That night, he slept near a trash bin behind a 24/7 convenience store. Cardboard as a mattress. His hoodie as a blanket. The sound of the city became his lullaby. Sirens, shouts, footsteps, silence. Day 3. Hunger kicked in. He hadn't eaten in 2 days. His pride had kept him from begging. But pride doesn't fill a stomach. He walked for hours looking for leftover food in dumpsters. Behind a bakery, he found half a croissant, slightly squashed but still edible. He ate slowly. Every bite felt sacred. That was the first time in years he felt grateful for bread. And that's when it hit him. How much we waste, how much we overlook. Not just food, but people, potential, stories. By day 5, Arman began to understand the rhythm of the streets. Which places had the warmest corners. Which public restrooms didn't chase you out. Which shelters filled up first. He met others, people like him. Or at least, people living the life he now shared. There was Lisa, a former nurse who lost her job and her home after her husband died. There was Donnie, a veteran who never recovered from what he saw overseas. And Malik, a teenager kicked out for coming out to his family. They weren't lazy. They weren't addicts. They were survivors. And they had stories no one ever asked to hear. Arman listened. He listened more in those 30 days than he had in his entire career as a life coach. Day 10 brought a storm. Cold wind, relentless rain. He found a narrow space under a bridge, already crowded. No room. He walked for miles, drenched, shivering. At a closed bus stop, he curled up, hoping for sleep. But sleep didn't come. Only the cold did. That night he cried, not from pain, but from hopelessness. For the first time in his life, he understood what it meant to have no way out. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. On day 15, something changed. A woman gave him a sandwich. She didn't just hand it over. She smiled. "Rough day?" she asked. He nodded. "Hang in there," she said. Those 3 words broke him. Not because of what she said, but because she saw him. For 15 days, no one had spoken to him like he was human. That brief moment gave him more strength than any motivational quote ever had. Day 20, Arman had a breakthrough. Not a job, not a miracle, but peace. He sat at sunrise on a rooftop he'd found access to through an abandoned stairwell. From up there, the city looked different. He thought about his life before. The rush, the pressure, the image. And he thought about now. Broken, hungry, dirty, but strangely free. He wasn't chasing anything. He wasn't running from anything. He was just being. On day 25, he helped another homeless man find a place in shelter. The man hugged him. No words, just gratitude. That night, Arman realized something powerful. He had spent his whole career trying to change lives with speeches. But in silence on the streets, he was changing lives through presence. Compassion doesn't need a microphone. Day 30 arrived. He walked back to his apartment. It felt surreal, like stepping into another world. He took a long shower, ate a warm meal, slept on a soft bed, but his heart was heavy. He had come back, but a part of him stayed behind. He knew he could never see the world the same way again. In the days that followed, Arman started a foundation to support homeless individuals, not just with food or money, but with dignity. He launched workshops to help people reintegrate into society. He created mobile job centers, mental health support units, and legal aid clinics. And most of all, he shared their stories, not to get views, not for sympathy, but to remind the world homelessness is an identity. It's a circumstance. And behind every person on the street is a story. Today, Arman continues his work across the country. He still gives motivational talks. But now, he doesn't speak from theory. He speaks from the streets. And his message is simple. If you want to understand humanity, don't look up, look down. Maybe we can't all live on the streets for 30 days, but we can listen, we can see, we can care, and maybe that's enough to change everything. Subscribe to Untold Echoes for more stories like this.